Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Thoughtful Thursday. We're going through a book called Crucial Conversations, and that is a more of a leadership self-help book. And I felt like we should do that and then take some spiritual truths in the Bible, combine the two so that way we can be effective and fruitful when it comes to crucial conversations, difficult conversations that we have with other people. Because let's face it, we deal with difficult people. And if we were completely honest with ourselves, we're sometimes the difficult people. Now, today we're going to talk about getting our emotions right. Now, when we are about to have a difficult conversation and we are in the middle of a difficult conversation, it's easy for us to have our emotions well up inside of us and we can get emotional. And when we get emotional and we make emotional decisions and we communicate based off of our emotions and not logical, we tend to say things that are hurtful and we tend to say things that are irrational. And so how can we have a more of a healthy emotional state when it comes to having conversations with others? Here, and the author says, it is easy to tell ourselves, and this is the author of Crucial Conversations, about difficult, so it's easy to tell ourselves a story about a difficult situation that may or may not be true, stirring up unhealthy emotions. Have you ever done that before? Maybe someone else shared a slight truth, or maybe something that came into in that you heard, and now all of a sudden that you're just thinking about that angle of it, which actually is not even true, or maybe true, or not even true, but yet it's allowing your emotions to well up inside of you. Have you ever done that before? Then the author, he says, he discovered that many people absolve themselves of any responsibility for a problem or bring unhealthy emotions to the conversation. You know, I think about Pontius Pilate as we went through Holy Week and Passion Week last week, of what Pontius Pilate did when the crowds were shouting out, Barabbas, Barabbas, Barabbas. And he was like, what should I do? You know, and they're like, hey, you should release Barabbas and not Jesus, the Messiah. And he did this ceremonial washing of his hands, thinking like, I'm going to absolve myself of this responsibility. You know, Jesus, this Messiah, it's not my responsibility. His blood's not on my hands. It's actually on yours. But by him actually doing that, put that responsibility because of his role. And that's the question that the author poses. And I feel like it's such a great thought-provoking question for us to ponder, to think about. And this is the question: what am I pretending not to know about my role in this? So think about the conversations, think about the tension, think about what you're going through right now with your relationships. What role do I play in this? And then let's go into the scriptures now here. Let's bring it all together here. And this is what 1 John 1:8 says. If we claim to be without sin, we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. I'm going to read that one more time. 1 John 1:8. If we claim to be without sin, we deceive ourselves and the truth is not in us. So let's not deceive ourselves. Let's understand that we are emotional people, but let's not have our emotions control us when it comes to communicating to one another. And let's not pretend that we don't have any type of ownership or any responsibility in this, because what the scripture is saying is that just like what Pontius Pilate did, he tried to absolve his responsibility, which in the fact is, because of his role, he was responsible. So let's take that ownership and understand and not take things emotionally when we choose to communicate with one another. Hopefully that's an encouragement and a challenge as much to you as it is to myself as well. And we'll thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.